welcome to today's episode with the girl Chichi. We are excited today. We are diving into a crucial topic, social media and its impact on school children. Is it a helpful tool, an educative tool, or is it a dangerous distraction to the kids? So helping me today is Mrs. Misera, a parent who is going to share their insights and experiences on social media experiences. Welcome.
Thank you, Sheta.
Thank you so much. How are you doing, Mrs. Sarah?
I'm doing well.
Okay, if you can tell us more about yourself, a bit about yourself and what you are doing.
All right. My name is Mrs. Sarah. I'm a mother of three children. I've got a teenager who's 19, doing his upper six, and another teenager who's 13. She's doing her Form 1, and the youngest is in grade 3. She's 9 years old. Um, and my children use social media a lot, and it's been helpful for them.
Okay, thank you so much. So let's start. When did you start using social media and how has it been helpful to you? And does it change your life somehow?
I started using social media way back, just after I graduated from college. Mostly those days it was Facebook. So I was using it to connect with my friends, with relatives, and it indeed was helpful. And these days I use it for joining parenting groups, YouTube tutorials for the kids. It does help me a lot.
Thank you so much. This is becoming interesting. So let's move on to personal social media experiences.
I've used social media and it's been helpful for me. I use it, as I said, for my children's homeworks. When I also, some of the things that the kids are learning these days, we did not learn it during our time. So I have to also go on YouTube, check on the tutorials, go on Google, go on Facebook. It has been helpful for me as well.
Okay, thank you so much. Would you say that your experiences on social media has been positive somehow or it has been negative?
I would say it's both. It's a mix because they've been negative effects. Personally, I've been scammed at one time, and I've seen incidents where people are forced into pressure. You know, the pressure that people have. People have fake lives out there, and it does affect you here and there. So that's the bad side of social media.
Okay, thank you so much. So you mentioned about being a mix, which means that you have been misled sometimes and you have mentioned the good part of it. I can imagine that it's relevant to this trend.
Mm.
Can you tell us more? What was your reaction after you got scammed on social media?
Okay, so it was on the Facebook marketplace where people sell their goods, and I wanted to buy a pair of shoes. And then I sent the money to the person, and the person just disappeared. So I didn't get quite much help because I just blocked the account and reported the account. So nothing really was done much because most of these people they use fake accounts, and it was then difficult for me then to go to the police station just for maybe $10, $20. You feel it's a lot of work. And then, so I can imagine this person, how many people he scammed. So for me, that's when I thought, oh, social media sometimes is not good.
Thank you so much for that. I hope our viewers as well as parents out there are taking note from messages here and take note of the bad side of social media and make sure that you want this kind of social media. So getting to the point of social media and its impact on school children, let's talk now about your experiences as a parent on school kids.
Mhm. Okay, it's been helpful with my kids. I've seen a lot of changes with my children. My son, he loves video editing. He wants to be a graphic designer. So I see that it's really helping him a lot. There are a lot of tools, which some of them I don't really know them, but the kids are so good with them. And it also helps them with interaction and their creativity as well. And also socializing with their friends. They don't have to travel all the way to see their cousins. They can also do FaceTime. And yeah, I believe social media is good on that part. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. You have heard that for to the viewers who have heard and listened well. So let's move to the bad side of social media. Does it bring any danger also to the kids? You just mentioned about the good part of it. What about the harmful part to the
Yes, there are a lot of harm that has come from using social media. For example, there's cyberbullying. People are bullied. Um, there's also harmful content that comes through. There's also content that is not for their age that comes through on Facebook, or is it whichever tool that they're using. So on that note, I would say, given those situations, social media can be harmful, and it can lead to addiction. They can be addicted. They don't concentrate on their studies. You would think they're studying, and then they're just watching movies or whatever content that is coming out on social media. So yeah.
this is becoming interesting. So you mentioned that your daughter has been bullied on social media. What was your take on that? What was your reaction on that? Did you completely ban social media for them, or what was your control in management, parental management towards the kids?
Okay. Yes, my daughter was bullied at one point. One person bullied her after she posted a picture. So what I had to do as a parent was just to talk to her, and advise her that people have got different ways of behaving, and she should not just concentrate on negativity, and she should improve her self-esteem, because I saw that she was now being affected by that. I also then reported that particular account, and then I blocked it on from her phone as well. So it did help a bit. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. I hope you're all taking notes in that. I can imagine being bullied, somehow you can lose even self-control. This is really a good idea. So also, I can see the good management part of your parental skills. I'm also a girl. I'm going to grow up soon, and I hope I will have a family also. I'm going to take a bit of the teaching also. So let's move on to parental strategies for social media management. How do you control or monitor? Are you balancing it? You say that you may think that sometimes the kids are studying, they're doing their homework, but also they're just scrolling and being misled by content. So how are you doing it? Did you see some changes also after you counsel, after you get interaction with them? Is there a change or they are being naughty?
Mm. Yeah, it's hard, especially with teenagers. When you try and control them, they might feel, they might be rebellious. So in my case, what I've done is I've set time limits for them. I've midweek, there are certain times that they're allowed to be on their phones up to maybe like 9 p.m. And then over the weekends, I allow them to extend to maybe like 10 p.m. So this also keeps me in control of their screen time. And I also followed their accounts. I link their phones to my phone. So whenever somebody is watching something online, I can always see and also monitor them. I also let them know that I'm watching and I'm seeing what they're doing. And I also try not to invade their privacy. So that's what I do. And also, I just communicate with them, talk to them about the dangers and the benefits of social media, so that they can also be open to me. If anything happens, they can also let me know.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Sarah. That was really insightful. So in terms of academic performance, after you introduced the digital era, that the maybe you watch laptops or phones or whatever, do you see any academic performance or their grades are falling down or they are high now?
Well, I actually see that they're improving. My son is doing quite well. He's got, there's no need for him to be carrying so many textbooks around. He can be on his laptop, he can be studying. So there's more time for him to study. These days people hardly read books. They just do it over their laptops or over their phones. So I've seen a big improvement on all my kids, yeah.
This is really interesting. So I understand that in social media we have different platforms such as Twitter, we have Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. What are your recommendations or what types of platforms are they using on social media?
So my children, they use YouTube. The younger ones, the girls, the 13-year-old one, normally goes on YouTube. She watches the tutorials for the practical subjects, and also the boy does that as well. They also use Twitter just to keep in touch with the current affairs. They also go to Google mostly for their research, and there are also some groups. Like these days they're doing their online lessons, their WhatsApp groups that they use, and so I would say they use WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, and Google as well.
Okay, thanks so much. To the viewers as well as the parents out there, we have read that from the parent herself, she has studied all about social media. You can imagine her son being motivated to do exactly the same. You can check them out as well. So the kids are very academically involved in terms of social media. But you know that from her view, you can say that social media is being adolescent. But also, not forgetting to mention the best side of social media. You can say that they are being influenced by content also, are being bullied also on social media. Alright, so move on to the gadgets. What kind of gadgets are they using? I understand now the tablets, laptops for students, or they are being pressurized by technology because they are new trending. Of course, iPhones, are they not pressurized to get iPhone 16 or
Okay, so they all have their cell phones, the normal cell phones. The youngest one has got a tablet because she's still young. My son, the A level one, he also has a laptop because he does a lot of research. So I need to make sure he does his research well. In terms of type of phones, well, the older son is the one who gives me a bit of problems because sometimes he does say his friends they've got the latest iPhone, he's got the latest what phone. So for me, I just decided to speak to him to let him know that these phones almost every month a new phone is being manufactured. So I cannot keep up with that pace of buying him a new phone every month or every week. So he does understand, and also the fact that other people at their school they actually don't have the devices. So they appreciate the fact that I can be able to at least have something for them.
okay, thank you so much. I can really imagine the pressure which comes with social media on latest version on the phone social media. So in terms of going to school, they take their mobile phones to school or they use them only at home.
Okay, so for my children's school, the older ones, the Form 1 girl, is not allowed to bring phones at school. So what she does is after school, she comes back, she does her research, and she leaves the phone at home. For the one that is doing his A level, they are allowed to bring their laptops, they are allowed to bring their phones to school. It's also, I feel uncomfortable with that at times because there is a risk of them losing their devices or using them inappropriately. So, but I allow them to go with them at school because they need the devices.
Alright, thank you so much. So you mentioned about the Form 1 are not phone and not allow the school to bring them mobile phones. I can understand that children sometimes they can play even hide and seek with their parents. Maybe sometimes they can sneak out with the phone to school. Do you ever experience that?
Yes, I did. I do experience that with my children as well. Sometimes, you're in the morning, maybe you're rushing off to work or you're rushing off to your business, whichever way, and you don't have time to check if they've left their phone. So sometimes they do sneak and take their phone. But of late, they have not been doing that. But children are always children. They can find ways to get their phone. But at my daughter's school, whenever there's something urgent, which is research, they write us a memo and say, can the children bring their phones to school? And I also thank the school because the school does search them every day to see if they've got their phones. So whenever they take their phones to school, the school confiscates the phone.
Very good, Someone, this is interesting, guys. So moving on to pressure, we once talked about pressure on social media.
Mhm.
I understand there are some platforms that can mislead. For example, we talk about IG, which is Instagram, right? So you can see that there's a lot of pressure being misled to wear what is not necessary to wear. So as a parent, if you ever experienced that, or you have any limits according to the platform, but as a parent, I can restrict the kids to be on IG, on TikTok. What do you do?
Okay, it is very difficult to manage the kids in terms of what they follow. You know, there are certain platforms that are unrealistic, which set unrealistic standards for the kids. You find that on what you're saying on Instagram, everyone portrays an image of being rich, being wealthy, not lacking anything. So I just follow what they are watching. Like I told you before that I've linked their phones to my phone as well, but it's very hard. But I also try and speak to them because I realize if you restrict these kids, they become rebellious. So what I do is I talk to them. So you know, there's always instances where somebody stories making headlines, somebody's child pictures have been exposed or something like that. I relate to examples which are there and tell them the dangers. And then they also know that if they do certain things, this will affect their school and also affect them in the community that we live in. It's been working a bit, but we never trust children.
Okay. Thank you so much. I can understand that there are also parents out there that are struggling with the same issue as well about social media as well as children. I hope you guys will have heard what she has said about social media. So coming on to social media and behavior. After you introduce the pages, after you got the pages for the kids, have you seen any misleading behavior, any change in behavior, or maybe you were invited or maybe to school and maybe because of misbehavior. And did you ever experience
Okay. So in terms of being invited at the school, I've not yet been invited at the school for anything, and I thank God for that. But in terms of behavior, their lifestyle, I've seen that they also, as women, being women, they also want to follow trends in terms of the way they dress. They're always like, "Mommy, can you buy us this dress?" or "Can you buy us these jeans?" And the good thing is they know that it's not always that I give them what they want. So that's the most difficult part with children because when they want something, they want it. And they have to understand sometimes that we don't have certain things that they require. But I've seen that they also want to follow certain trends, follow certain young musicians or be it young influencers who are wearing in a certain way, talking in a certain way. So I've seen that with my kids, but I always make sure I try to keep them in check.
thank you so much. So you have heard that even the lifestyle being pressurized by social media is a bit changing because of copying Western culture as well. And she has noted that the dressing also is a bit changing. So maybe you can explore more on the dressing code. Are they copying or you're managing?
Okay, so for my son, it's a bit hard because he's a boy, he's older, he's in A level. So I give him money to buy his own clothes. So he ends up just dressing in a certain way. He can say he is influenced by a certain singer or a certain person, then he starts buying. So it's hard for me to go and try and change the way that he is dressing. For the younger ones, it's a bit easier. I am able to manage them, but you can see that there are certain trends that they are copying. And because when you go out in the street as well, you see that what your daughter wanted, you can see that certain children of that age group are also wearing that same thing or that certain hairstyle as well. So as a parent, we've lived before this digital age. We've got certain standards, certain color hairstyles that we knew that a person only has black hair or something. And you find your kids when it's holiday time, they want purple, green, and well, you allow them sometimes, but you just have to try and monitor them as well.
No, so we can conclude that social media is really interesting as women are more versed. So let's move to I can remember that there was an incident of a small girl whose picture leaked on social media and known picture before. So what's your take? What would you say on that? Do you check your picture and do you choose pictures or what you do?
As a parent, I do check. I once in a while I check their messages, I check what they're following, what they're liking, and also I let them know that I am following you, so that they know that whatever we're doing, mommy is on our back, she's checking. I also tell them that I have to check for their safety and make sure that I let them know of such examples like the ones that you're talking about. That what I do is more for their safety, not for me invading their privacy, because they always complain about privacy, these things. Yeah.
Okay, moving on to mental health and development. Do you think that social media contributes somehow to depression and mental health issues in school children?
Thanks, Jada. I believe that it does affect them mentally sometimes. Like I mentioned before, that people portray perfect lives which do not exist. Fake lives just to get more people to follow their account. Some people use those editing settings to make them look more pretty, and children end up with pressure of also wanting to look like those people. Some people maybe borrow cars and do certain things just to portray a certain lifestyle. So your child may feel that, oh, my mother doesn't have a Range Rover or doesn't have this type of a car. We are not eating this type of food. And it affects them because they'll be asking themselves, why? What kind of people are we? A lot of things go through their head, and you find that the kids become withdrawn, very unhappy all the time, moody. And I believe those are some of the starting symptoms of depression and mental health. It's only that as a society we haven't put much emphasis on depression and mental health, but it's there. It does affect the kids.
Thank you so much for that. And so moving on to academic performance, you mentioned about what about in academic performance?
So you find that when the children are depressed, they will not perform well academically. So as a parent, sometimes you also have to monitor the kids, also work together with the teacher and check. The teachers also have to help you and check if the children are excelling or their grades are also going down. So social media is good, but it also has certain effects on the children. So as a parent, you have to be hands-on to monitor these children and watch them. Otherwise, they'll end up being pressurized into doing so many things.
Thank you so much. I believe we have all heard that the goodness of social media and sometimes they led by the destructive side of social media. For your final point, they are also parents out there, parents out there, they also sort of some distraction because of the thing. They are in the same show also. What kind of advice do you give to other parents?
Okay. So I would advise parents to be open with their children, to communicate, and try and be friends with your children. We were raised in a generation where our fathers and mothers were very strict. We could not sit down and talk to them about certain issues, and this made us become rebellious. So I think as parents, we should sit down, warn our children about the dangers of social media use and the benefits. And also let them know that if they misuse the social media, banning it from them would lead to them failing school, affecting them in so many ways. So I think as a parent, we should just try and you know talk to the kids as well, and also monitor their accounts. You can't trust these children. You link your phones, you limit their screen time. You also just try and engage the teachers as well. See how your child is doing. If you're not being affected by these by social media, that's what I'm doing as a parent. So what I would say to other parents is they should not ban their children from social media because it does help with their academic work. But also at the same time, they should watch what their children are doing.
Okay, thank you so much. You can say that the discussion was a bit interesting and also very motivating to become a the discussion yesterday. That is my opinion. So in final personal, can we conclude that it's a 50-50 in terms of being destructive or being good also?
Yes, to be honest, it would be a 50-50 because the benefits are there as well, as well as the dangers are also present. So it is our duty as parents to watch our children and also involve them and warn them of the dangers of social media. And I think also as the society in general, we should also take time to speak to these kids, warn them so that they don't go the wrong way.
Okay, thank you so much. I guess that was such an insightful discussion. Thank you so much, Ms. Sarah, for having your experiences. We
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate you. All right, so we have come to the end of the discussion. To our listeners and viewers, let us know whether social media has become a blessing or a curse to school children. Let us know in the comments. And also don't forget to follow, to subscribe, and to like and share. And don't forget also to tune in into the next episode. It's your girl, Chia Zamajani, signing out.